Hi guys, today we're here with a slightly different video. Iman and I thought we would share with you a little bit of our process of how we've become a bit of a creative team. I think we create really fun things together, we bounce ideas of each other, and this actually came about because even though I've worked with her forever and even though of course she's family, I did a really amazing course in I think 2015 or 2016 with the legendary Val Garland. I'm sure you guys have heard of her. If you haven't, you should check her work out. It's just legendary stuff. And in that course, it was such a fun experience to think outside the box, which is what the course promised. And given that I've been a bridal makeup artist for 25 years, that felt really exciting to sort of come up with a different way of looking at makeup rather than just thinking through the lens of bridal. So Iman and I did this course, I would say together, though ostensibly it was my course, but I made her do every brief with me. And you had to shoot in response to briefs set up by actual industry leaders. So there was a brief for Vivienne Westwood, there was a brief for Nars. We had to create a product for Nars, which is super cool. We had to create a brief for Matthew Williamson. So there were all of these really epic briefs, but the very first brief we did was my favorite brief, which was it yours too?
Mine too, yeah.
So the first brief I did was set by Val herself, which was with absolutely no direction, just follow some research and go down a path of creativity. And it stemmed from a very juicy place, which was I read a story about how during the colonial era, when the British were here, there were lots of instances of ladies falling in love and having these affairs with people from the subcontinent. So the lady of the house would sneak out at night and meet her Indian boyfriend, shall we say. And there's this story of one time this gentleman realizing that this had gone on, the husband, because when she sat down to breakfast, the lace of her dress had imprinted itself on her skin, which meant she had not been out of her clothes and into her nightsuit and been at home all night. So this apparently sort of broke the marriage.
Interesting.
Right? So he noticed the pretty white dress imprint on her flesh from the day before. So he knew she had not been home all night. A very eagle-eyed guy, I have to say. So she obviously came home, quickly got rid of her clothes, put on like whatever morning shift, and his eagle eyes picked out whatever design the dress had. So this kind of got me thinking about the idea of imprints on flesh. And then that sort of took me down a path of, sort of tribal markings and tribal imprints on flesh as well. Each brief we had to do a high street look, a couture look, an avant-garde look, and then you could push it even further if you wanted to. The first look that I did was a tribal liner, which I thought was, kind of the high street look. I sort of went and looked into tribes from Kenya, I think it was, and the sort of beading and the kind of color they had. So I sort of went for this multicolored liner, which was aqua and yellow and red, I think. Then the second thing was, by this point I wanted to get a bit avant-garde. And this I think is my favorite.
This is my favorite too.
Yeah. Ended up looking like a very refined version of David Bowie as Ziggy Stardust, So I took the same colors and I just played with the angles of Iman's face, including across her lips. I just love it, but I kept the makeup very clean and simple, and just a liner, in fact, like this, well, slightly smoky eyeliner. Then what I did was I wanted to create the imprint of some sort of scarring across the face. So I created out of latex and foundation these sort of imprints, what I hoped looked like imprints across her face, and then the full avant-garde I crisscrossed across her entire face. So that was my first look, and Val really liked it, and I was feeling super proud of myself for not just doing red bridals and so it was really fun. So you liked the Matthew Williamson brief, which was it was about looking at his brand and understanding the kind of sort of character, the kind of person that he creates in his shoots, and it's all very peacocks and palette of like peacock greens and mustards, and so we created this very and we changed the shape of your face unusually here. We changed the shape of her face by contouring in a very sort of square. I tried to make her face as square as possible with these very much muddier contours than I think we've ever done, or that I would ordinarily do, to give that sort of 70s. It was like they were in the sun a lot or something. I guess it was the time when everybody was hitting the outdoors. So we just picked up some of the colors from, actually this is my favorite. So my favorite is like a lime green socket line with a beige lid and this sort of peacocky colored fabric that you're wearing. My absolute favorite was this image, which was so frightening in the flesh that I think you had a hard time looking at yourself. If I remember correctly, you finished at the studio, looked in the mirror and went,
it's creepy.
It's really creepy.
And so was the story behind it.
The story behind it was really creepy. The nuts and bolts of it was basically there was a lady who was pretending to be somebody else. She'd taken over their life on Instagram, and she was reposting very quickly as soon as this person was posting, and posing as that person, had even got sort of a bit of a boyfriend or a fiance situation, and she kept saying, I can't come and meet you because so-and-so's died or so-and-so's sick, and she sort of catfished him for a good couple of years. And eventually the lady in the pictures realized that she was sort of being impersonated, and she got in touch with him and told him that, this is the thing, this is my name, I live in Dubai or wherever, and this person is not real. And it was so creepy because this person, the creepy thing of it was this person had made a fake mother account. So the fake lady would post the picture, then she'd sign out, sign back in as her mother, and then leave this whole "stay safe, sweetie, and you look beautiful" comment, and then she'd sign out and sign back in and say, thanks mom. Neither she was real nor the mother was real. It's so diabolic. And I just got really fascinated with the idea of this desperation for likes and a life that is, after all, really not yours, but you're living this fantasy out so extremely. It was so diabolic, it was really, really creepy. So then we came up with this image, and I think it's the most pared down we've sort of done your makeup. We just put like cream around your Vaseline or cream or 8-hour cream around your eye. Oh, it was gloss. It was lip gloss. We put lip gloss around your eye, and we just did a tiny bit of kajal that we made you blink outwards, and we cut out multicolored versions of the Instagram heart. So it's just sort of like the idea of, she's just choking on these hearts. It's all about getting these likes and these hearts, and as they're sort of choking her and covering her mouth, it's turning black. And I thought this was a really arresting image. They're actually paper hearts that we stuck onto Iman's face with, I think, cream or gloss or something. And when Iman finished, she was pretty startled to look in the mirror. I think that happened to you with Black Swan too.
Yeah.
It's a bit like shocking when you see it. So we're used to kind of coming up with ideas, and of course we do our bridal work together, and that's one's bread and butter, and I guess my calling as well to a certain extent is to get brides ready. But every now and again we get an itch to do something a bit creative, which is what you saw during lockdown, where I was like, come on then. And so we created that bright red on the cheek, that clean white sort of image, which will just pop up for you here. And we just wanted to play with texture and pigment. So we thought it might be fun for YouTube, for you guys, if we sort of bounced off each other with a couple of ideas. And both of us have kind of been circling around this urge to do something with the 60s. So I created this pinched lash, and then we sort of felt we're kind of excited by these highly pigmented eyes that everybody's doing these days, these plain colors. We keep talking about these graphic liners, and we just ended up looking at pigments and going, ooh, let's do that one, let's do lilac. And we just went for a lilac eye with pinched eyes, and then we just did skin and lips to complement. So if you feel like watching something a little bit creative, this is how we roll. I'm just going to keep the lip simple and put Maybelline Dreamer, and I'm going to mix it with a little Egyptian magic. So using the Flash palette, I'm going to create a beautiful wash of lilac for around Iman's eyes. Open your eye. Oof. So now that we've got this beautiful Flash palette created lilac, and now I'm going to take something drugstore. This is the NYX Ultimate Shadow Palette, and I'm going to pack on this lilac color. Dipping into the slightly deeper purples now, just a bit. I'm just going to use Nars Impassioned to just soften this back into the skin. Now, of course, we want to do a super black mascara. This Lash Sensational mascara is really dense and black. One of my favorite tricks is to pinch lashes together. Get like a spider effect. Take some of the cool lilac on a blush brush. Just give a hint of that color. On the cheek as well. Yummy. And there you have it, a super editorial lilac eye. Sometimes it's fun to just play with color and sort of be the life and soul of the party with this sort of understated, clean wash of just a pop of something a little unusual. If you found this fun, I hope you'll subscribe to the channel and don't forget to hit the bell so that you get notifications when we drop a video. And I hope to see you again next time. Bye!